Welcome to the Trainer Talk, where we discuss topics related to health and fitness to help you gain back control of your health and fitness and become the absolute best version of yourself physically and mentally. Enjoy. 2024 has begun.
Woo!
People are setting goals and resolutions and starting new things to improve their health and fitness. Today, we want to talk about how we overestimate what we can do in a month or 30 days, but we underestimate what we can accomplish in a year. And the reason that we say that is because a lot of people right now are doing 30-day challenges, quick fixes, fad diets, all these things that are typically going to be around that 4-week mark or 30 days. But realistically, they're setting some goals that might be a little bit out of reach or unrealistic, and then they set themselves up for failure because if they don't achieve that goal, they get discouraged and don't think that they can do it. And then they revert back to the old habits, and then they wait until 2025 to set another New Year's resolution. So what we want to talk about is how instead of setting a goal of doing this 30-day fix and trying to lose 15 or 20 pounds or 30 pounds or whatever it is to start the year, let's just focus on the entire year itself. After all, it's what are your resolutions or goals for 2024? It's not what are your resolutions or goals for January, right? It's the entire year. How can we play this out and just stick to a more sustainable approach that's more doable, easier, enjoyable, so that we can actually end the year closer to where our goals than starting all over next year. And if you really zoom out, I think the biggest thing and what's eye-opening to me is like, if we just zoom out on our entire life, no matter how old you are, if you dedicated an entire year to your health and fitness and your healthy habits, so if it's, exercising daily, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes, if it's getting 2 to 3, 4 workouts in a week, even if it's only 30 minutes, you could even do body weight stuff or dumbbells at home. Obviously, if you go to the gym, that would be great, but you don't have to. It's just doing what you can do that fits in your schedule. If you can eat healthier choices more than 50% of the time, ideally 70 to 80% of the time, and just consistently do that stuff all year long, 1 year of doing that is 1.3% of the average lifespan. The average person lives to 78. So 1 year seems like a lot of time right now, but it's literally less than 2% of your entire life. And it could literally drastically change your entire life moving forward. Even if you're 40, even if you're 50, we're talking about another 25, 30, 35 years of life that you can enjoy and be able to do more things and have more energy and be stronger, play with grandkids, whatever it may be. Don't think that you're like too old to start setting these goals. Especially if you're younger like us, in our 20s, like we're looking at the next 60, 70 years of our lives. What can we do on a yearly basis for the rest of our life that's going to keep us healthy and fit, not just what can we accomplish in 30 days, right? So I like zooming out on life in that sense and not worrying about being perfect for 30 days, but being consistent for a year.
Yeah. I kind of wrote out the scenarios of like if one person did the 1 month goals super aggressive versus if one person focused on like the year and super like sustainable habits and just small changes over the year. And say a person comes in and they want to lose 25 pounds in January. They actually lose 15 pounds doing, extreme diet, extreme drastic change from what they were doing to what they are now, working out 4 or 5 days a week, doing lots of cardio, doing classes even, making sure that they're getting up at 5 a.m., drinking a gallon of water a day, like all this wild stuff. And they only lost 15 pounds. So in their mind, they came 10 pounds short of their goal. But still, 15 pounds in a month is really good results. Yeah. But they still get discouraged and they get disappointed because they're not where they wanted to be or not where they thought they would be with all the effort that they put in. So they're like, well, if this is what I have to do to lose weight, I'm never, they give up. They're like, it's just not in the cards for me. So then they go back to what they were doing, put the weight back on, possibly plus some. So they quit even though they made that good progress. And if they just would have, even after doing that aggressive diet, if they just would have made more like sustainable and balanced choices after that, they could have kept it off and probably made more results afterwards for the next 6 months, a year. And what it does is it develops a poor relationship with nutrition and exercise, thinking that they can only lose weight through these really extreme measures, and that every time they have to go like, all out, they have to do 0 to 100 instead of like, okay, let's just turn it up, the dial up from 1 to 5 instead of going 1 to 10 for how involved they are with their nutrition and their exercise. And so they end up either at the same that they started that other year, or they end up worse in the next year. And then the cycle just kind of repeats year after year, because they're like, all right, this year I'm going to do it. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to drink my gallon a day every day, and I'm going to just follow the diet. And then it just keeps repeating until they like either get out of it, or maybe they kind of give up on it altogether, which they don't have to. Now, if the second person, they just keep losing consistently like a pound a week. Maybe they add more vegetables in, and that replaces some calories, right? So you're going to be more full, so you're eating less. You're losing a pound a week. All right, cool. Now we're starting to exercise, maybe 2-3 days a week. And then by the end of the year, maybe they get up to 5 by the end of the year, but they don't start off there. Maybe by the end of the year, they are eating more of maybe they are doing like a macros or a calories or something like that. And then if they lose a pound a week, we'll say 52 pounds in a year or 50 pounds a year. And so person one technically would have lost that in 2 months if they would have stuck with it. But since it's so extreme, most people can't stick with it past that first 4 weeks or the first 30 days. And so person two, they end up with a very healthy and balanced relationship with exercise, with food. They're fueling their bodies. They're feeling their best. They're down 50 pounds. And they're like, oh yeah, I can keep this up for the rest of my life.
Yep. And the important thing to notice is like that person two only lost 4 pounds month one.
Yep.
And so 99% of people would think, oh my God, I only lost 4 pounds. Like I'm not doing enough or something like that. But if you just keep with that, holy cow, 50 pounds in a year, that's drastic. Yeah. Especially think about everybody that we meet with. I mean, I've literally sat down in a chair and talked to hundreds of people over the years. And most people are sitting in that chair because over the last 2, 3, 5, maybe even 10 years, they've slowly put on the pounds until they reached a point where enough is enough. They need to do something. And there might be 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight. Let's say they put on an average of 10 pounds a year. So person one, they might want to lose that 30 pounds that they put on over the last 3 years. I put on 10 pounds a year for the last 3 years. I want to lose that 30. They set the 25-pound goal. They only get 15. I can't do this. I quit. They end the year another 10 pounds heavier. Whereas if they just stuck with it, they could have lost all that weight and then some. Yep. And so it's not just I lost 50 pounds. It's also I lost 50 pounds and I'm not another 10 pounds heavier. That's 60-pound difference in a year if you really break it down and think about it. Because you can either adopt the healthy habits and be a few pounds lighter, maybe even if it's a half a pound a week, or maybe even only 1 pound a month. They lost 1 pound a month. That's 12 pounds of body fat in a year instead of being 10 pounds heavier. That's still a 22-pound difference, you guys. Even if you lost a pound a month, people would be, I couldn't even imagine, like people would think that they were failing if they only lost a pound a month. But when you add it up over 12 months, it makes a big difference. You're moving down 12 pounds a year every year instead of going up 10 pounds every year over every year.
I think it's important to note that weight loss line, that graph, is almost never linear.
It's going to be like this.
It's a wave. You're never going to be consistently losing.
Realistically, if you're just starting out, you are going to lose probably more in the first 2 months, 3 months. You're going to lose, maybe it's 4, 5, 6 pounds a month, and then it's going to slow down. You might have months where you stay exactly the same, but like you said, you're going to end the year in a better spot if you just stick with it.
Because you might have those weekends where you go out to eat with family and have, a dinner when you're out to eat and some dessert, and you come back the next Monday and you're like, oh, I gained some weight. That's not making or breaking your entire year of progress that you're on track for with your habits, you know?
And that's where it's like, it's just maintenance. So if you look at the entire year, you're probably going to have, I don't know, there's probably at least 10, maybe a dozen situations where your holiday, birthdays, you're going to be eating off plan. But that's a dozen circumstances. You know, maybe you stay the same for a week or two, but over the course of the year, like, you're going to still make progress. It's all about maintaining in those points. And the unfortunate thing is people will literally not start a plan because I've got Thanksgiving coming up, I've got Christmas coming up, I'll just wait a couple months until the new year. I know I'm not going to be able to follow the plan. So they start the year 6 pounds heavier in 6 weeks instead of 6 pounds lighter with some healthy habits. So that's a 12-pound difference. You guys got to do the math on this.
Yeah, that reminds me with like the holidays and everything. It's like we just finished up our internal like holiday challenge with class members, and they were super simple. Like, eat 3 servings of protein, have 3 servings of vegetables a day, eat slowly at your meals, work out 3 days a week, like super simple and easy. And like got to the end of it, and one of the people that were doing it, they were like, yeah, I was talking to a bunch of coworkers this week, and how they're all talking about, oh man, like I ate so bad over the holidays, like I need to like eat super, like I need to get back, you know, into healthier routines in the new year, and talking about all these different things. And they were like, I've been doing that like the past 4 weeks, like just super simple, like eating vegetables and everything. Like my diet's still been pretty healthy, you know, even with it being Christmas and holidays. And they're like, they had like a light bulb moment. They're like, that's why you did that. Like, that's why you had the challenge, just to like keep those healthy habits. So that way I didn't feel like I had to change up everything and like make this big drastic change for the New Year's, and like still kept on track during that. And I'm like, that's exactly why we did it. You caught us.
Yeah.
So like, that's what we were trying to be sneaky. We're trying to help you out that way.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Yeah, I want to like mention, like, kind of going back when you talk about like the weight loss goals and stuff like that. I think that's why it's important to like track your progress, not only based on your weight, because even for me personally, since I've had my baby, like if I only looked at my progress on the scale, I would literally think that I've made like hardly any progress. I'm one of those people, it's been like a pound a month that I've lost, and that's like it. But looking at the body scan, I've lost 3 pounds of fat alone. So I am making progress in that. And then also when I look at the level method that we've been doing, like I have leveled up and progressed a lot in that. So, and like my progress pictures and my measurements. So I think like there's just so much focus on the scale. And even I've caught myself like getting caught up in that and wanting to like lose the weight and stuff like that. But there's just so many other things to look at and things to take into consideration, and like just your lifestyle and your body and what your body's doing. And there's just so many other ways to see your progress that don't have to do with the scale all the time.
And a good way to think about this and is like, you know, if we could flip a switch and you woke up tomorrow at your goal weight, would you really feel any different? Like, would you feel better and accomplished or anything? And the answer is probably, you know, I might feel a little bit better, but realistically, it's the process of putting in the work and doing the habits. And then once you achieve the goal over hard work, that's when you can really feel better and embrace it and feel accomplished and stuff like that. So it's definitely the journey. And like you talk about, like, enjoy the journey, the process. Don't focus on, you know, it's good to have an outcome goal. Like, okay, I want to lose, you know, 20 pounds or 30 pounds. But, and we just talked about this before this, it's don't focus on the outcome goal and weighing yourself every day. Focus on the behaviors that you need to do to get to the goal. So like for you, it's like, okay, how many days can I come into the gym and commit to working out? Okay, let's do that. Let's fit that into my schedule. What can I do to just improve my nutrition or just make sure I'm staying consistent with that? And over time, you're progressing. You're getting stronger. You're getting closer every single month to that goal. So it's the behaviors that get you there, not just focusing on the outcome of, you know, losing the 20 pounds or whatever it is.
Yeah, I've never had so I've PR'd a few times in the last month or so. I've never had a goal to hit that weight or anything. It
You just show up and you put the work in every single week.
And that goes back to like, it's all about the journey. Like I mean, it's still good to have, if you want to hit a PR goal, it's totally okay to have that goal, but like that's not what I'm thinking about all the time. I'm just coming in and doing what I do. It's like, oh yeah, I work out. Like it's a non-negotiable, and then the performance is just a side effect of the discipline and the commitment every day.
I like that you said it's a non-negotiable,
Yeah.
because for all of us, that's what it is. I mean, you got to make this your lifestyle. Like if you want to be healthy and fit and pain-free and medication-free and disease-free and have the energy that you want, like you have to make healthy lifestyle your identity. And non-negotiables are a big part of that. Making sure your nutrition is mostly healthy. Make sure you're exercising every week, drinking enough water. Like those behaviors and those actions that you take day in and day out are what are going to lead you to the goal.
Yeah. It's about that consistency over time. I mean, we talk about that all the time, but especially just not expecting yourself to be perfect, not expecting perfection, and not having those unrealistic expectations about what's going to come out of it. Like almost not be kind of like how we talked about not being tied to that end goal, just like know where you're headed and then figuring out like, okay, how can I get better at this? How can I improve my nutrition just like one notch? How can I improve my fitness like one notch? Like, okay, what am I not doing? Oh, I'm not sleeping good enough. Okay, I need to focus on that. Like that's one thing. It's like, okay, I'm not getting enough sleep, so it's going to impact my workouts. It's going to impact my job. It's going to impact my mood and how I feel on a daily basis. It's going to impact nutritional choices and all that kind of stuff and how it plays in. So just focusing on like one area and improving that a little bit, it carries in and bleeds into other areas. It's not just like I need to improve these 5 different things. It's like improve one and then it kind of helps the rest of them. And then you focus on one for a while. It's like with the level method, like, you focus on push-ups for a while to get better at that. And it still carries over to like the rings, and it still carries over to like doing like overhead presses and stuff like that. So even if you focus on one thing specifically and create those really good habits, and then you just like keep it there, like if you really create that habit, it becomes autopilot. So it's like you almost do it without noticing after you've done it for long enough and consistently enough. Brushing your teeth at night, like it's just you go and then you brush your teeth and then you go to bed. It's like just something you don't even think about. Like you could do it without thinking about it.
Yeah, I feel like once you get to a certain point, like working out is that habit, like it is for all of us. And like even if I like never lost another single pound, if I never PR'd again, if I never whatever, I would still work out every single day just because my body literally craves it. Like I feel so much better after I work out. I feel like I have more energy after I work out. Like just mentally I feel better. So even if like nothing about me changed, I would still work out. But that like takes time to create that habit and to get to that point. So you just have to like push through until you finally reach that point in life.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because like I've got pictures side by side from 6 years ago and then a year ago, 5-year difference of working out basically 6 days a week, 2 hours a day. And I look exactly the same, but I'll still work out for the rest of my life because of the way I feel. And I love it at this point, pushing myself, and you feel way better mentally, physically, more energy, like you said. And then you'll notice like, once you get into a consistent routine and you miss a couple of days, you don't feel the same. Like you're like, oh, I miss that feeling, Like we've had clients that when they get into a solid routine for a couple months or maybe a year and then they go on a vacation or something like that, or they have to take time off, they're like, oh my God, I just didn't feel right. Like I just don't feel the same unless I'm getting my workout in. And for a lot of people, it's like, it's even just an outlet, like a stress reliever, even for just that purpose alone. The energy boost and the stress relief that you get from that habit is well worth it. It's not all about the scale, right?
I want to ask you guys, so obviously like we all know what 75 hard is. And there's a lot of these 30-day challenges right now at the beginning of January. You guys think that they're good for somebody who is just starting their fitness journey, their health journey, is there benefit to these challenges compared to like singular habits like you were talking about? And is there like risks for beginners to use these challenges? What do you guys think?
I'll let you go first.
You want me to go?
I don't
Okay.
care. I can go first.
I was gonna say, there you go.
So my thought on that is, I think there is a benefit to them because it gets them into the door. It gets them started.
Yeah.
But the thing is they have to understand. They have to go into that challenge understanding that it is just a Kickstarter. This is just 30 days to get me going. That's where so many programs go wrong, is they claim that this is their fix, their quick fix. You do this 30 days and you're fit, like you've reached your goal, you're good to go. It's not that way. We use 6-week challenges and 4-week challenges. Like right now we have 2 different 4-week jump starts and kickstarts going. And I explained to everybody that this is meant to just boost your motivation, give you something to strive for. It is not a one size fits all. You need to continue after it, but it helps build some healthier habits, gets them working out, exercising, gives them something to shoot for. The important thing is continuing after it. And that's where I think a lot of programs go wrong. So I don't necessarily like the word challenge. Like, even though we have a 6-week challenge, I make sure everybody that goes into that knows that this is a foundation builder. This 6-week challenge is meant to create a foundation around healthy habits, get you used to working out a few days a week, moving your body, eating a little bit healthier, drinking more water, prioritizing yourself. As long as they know that going into it, I think they're beneficial because it just sparks that motivation.
The challenge seems a little bit more temporary, but as like when you use the kickstart, the jump start.
Yes, that's why I like those words better.
Yeah.
Yep.
So my opinion on both of those is it really feeds into the all or nothing mindset. Like I said, with the 0 to 100 or 0 to 10, whatever, like 75 hard, if you miss a day, you have to start over. And it's 7 tasks, and it's like, they're challenging even for us to do. And we've been working out for a while. Like if we were to do that for 75 days straight without taking a break, like no alcohol, no cheat meals whatsoever, following a diet, working out twice a day, once has to be outside, especially right now.
Yeah.
And taking a progress picture, drinking a gallon of water. For most people, a gallon is going to drown them. Like they don't need to drink a gallon of water every day because they don't have that high of an activity to drink a whole gallon of water. And plus, like, depending on the time of year, when it's colder, you don't need as much water. So it's like, there's benefits to it. Like, I'm not saying people wouldn't get a benefit out of it. I would say if people want to do it as a mental challenge, go for it.
I think that's more advanced. Like, I wouldn't even recommend that for somebody that's not already advanced because it's way too much for somebody new. Because it was really hard for even us to do. I've been doing this for freaking 14 years.
And which the thing with that is, even the person who created it says this is a mental challenge. Like, it is a mental transformation. It is not some 75-day lose weight challenge. And so a lot of people go into it thinking it's a weight loss challenge, and it's not. That's not what it's about. So, like, if you want to go into it and change mentally, go for it by all means. Don't expect that, like, this is the best way to lose weight. There's way better ways and more sustainable ways to lose weight. He even says that himself. For the 30-day challenges, like you said, it's good for a kickstart, but as long as it's done appropriately, I think it can be beneficial.
I was going to add, the only other thing with that is you have to go into it with the mindset of setting a realistic goal. You can't use that example of losing 25 pounds in 30 days. That's just, it's too much. It's kind of ridiculous. Not to mention, like, if you lost a pound a day, you're going to lose a ton of muscle mass. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. I just had a conversation with somebody a couple days ago where they've done all the fad diets and the quick fixes and lost a ton of weight and then put more back on. The reason you put more back on is because during that 30-day restrictive, intense diet, you lost a ton of muscle. Muscle helps keep body fat off. You burn more calories every day when you have more muscle mass. And that's why it's important to maintain it and do more of a sustainable approach to it. In the long run, you're going to be way more successful if you can maintain as much muscle as you're losing the weight. So if you are somebody going into a 30-day challenge or a quick fix or something like that. You need to set realistic expectations, understand that it's just a kickstart and that you're adopting some healthier habits, and then you have to keep them going or else it's completely pointless.
Right. Yeah.
Because Bethany has said this 100 times, the more challenges that you do like that, the harder it's going to become to lose the weight. The more times you go up and down and up and down and up and down, it messes your body up, your hormones, your metabolism. Every single time you do a new challenge, it's going to get harder and harder to actually get that weight off and keep it off.
Yeah. And that's what leads people into the situations where they're like, I've tried everything and like nothing works anymore. Or like they're like, yeah, I used to do this and it worked great, but then they try it again and it doesn't work as good. It's like, yeah, because after you do that, your body learns like, hey, this is like, we're starting to starve. When you lose weight like that, like doesn't matter where you're starting from, your body just knows, hey, I'm changing from my normal. And so then if you are losing weight, it's going to want to rebound back the same way if you go back to those habits. And so then trying to do it again, it's like, oh, we're in like a low food period, right? So it's like, oh, okay, like this is what we need to do. We need to really conserve all the energy that we can so we don't lose as much weight as we did last time so we don't die. Yeah. That's basically what your body's trying to do. Your body is really good at trying to save you and keep you alive. Unfortunately, it doesn't always help us in our short-term goals and our personal goals. So what you really have to do is like, if you've never dieted or anything like that before, probably don't take the extreme approach. Like do something super simple because you can lose weight like that if you do something super simple and easy. And now it's not going to be some drastic change like we see on the internet, because I'm sure there's lots of promotions out there right now for these challenges that are going on. That's like, okay, this person won this challenge and they lost 50 pounds in a month or went down however many pant sizes or whatever. They got the before and the after picture. And you're like, oh, yeah, that looks amazing. Like, I want to do that. And it's like, those people did it very extreme. And it's like, go find those people now, like a year after those challenges. Like, did they actually keep the weight off? Did they continue it? What did they do afterwards? Any of those types of things. And most of the time, you find that, it's 90 to 95% of them have gained the weight back or more, which is very unfortunate. So, and that's why, even though these are promoted, the like lose 25 pounds in a month challenges, those are promoted, but then what gives you the long term, it's like the unsexy diets and workouts. It's like, hey, eat more vegetables and eat a little bit less than you were and focus on drinking more water. Like little tiny things like that is what really makes the difference in the long time.
Yep. Anything else, you guys?
That was good.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I think to wrap it up, like basically this talk, if you combine the last two talks that we had, so one was about setting smart goals and realistic goals, right? And then last week, what did we talk about last week?
Making fitness fun.
Making fitness fun. So the community. So a year-long journey is very, very hard to do by yourself. So if you set realistic goals for the year, come up with a plan with your fitness, your nutrition, those habits, and then you have to find a way to stay accountable to it and consistent with it. And that might be finding somebody to do it with, or maybe joining a group of people that do it, hiring a coach. That's probably one of the most important things, because, like I said earlier, I've sat down with hundreds of people and almost every single one of them has struggled with accountability, being able to consistently do it long term. Part of that's because the program's wrong, because it's a little bit too hard to do. It's difficult, restrictive. It's not sustainable. But the other part is because it's hard to do anything by yourself. Like, I've been thinking back since I started working out 14 years ago, I've almost never not had a workout partner or partners to work out with. And I'm somebody that loves to work out. Like, yes, I enjoy working out by myself sometimes to like clear my head or whatever, but for the majority, me and you, like, we've been doing ice baths. I would not do that by myself. If you weren't here with me, like, there's no way we would hop in that. It was 40 degrees this morning, ice on the top. Yeah, I would have said, screw that. I'm going to skip it today. But we were both here, so we both did it, right? Yesterday, you were like, there's no way I would have done that Metcon if you guys weren't here with me. Like, we did a terrible Metcon yesterday. It was like 20, 25 minutes.
I was like not feeling it. I wasn't feeling it
either.
I was like not in the mood to work out at all. Like I messed around like scrolling on social media for 45 minutes before I started. And then they came in and I was like, oh, I guess I should get started. Yeah. So I like start lifting and whatever. And I'm just like, oh, man, I just don't feel like it today. I'm just like, this is just, it's one of those days. Right. And then once all of us kind of got going, and then once I was into it, I was like, okay, like this kind of sucks, but I'm going to do it anyways. And then afterwards I was like, I feel a lot better that I like actually did it. Like I knew I wasn't going to regret it afterwards.
That's happened a couple times this week for us, because the other day me, you, and Barry did not want to do that Metcon either, and we did that. Just glad we did it when we got done. It's like you feel amazing once you actually do it. Yeah. That's another big thing is don't wait for motivation to get started. Take action first, and then you'll be motivated afterward. So find an accountability partner or a group of people, or hire a coach. Put a plan together, set realistic, smart goals, think more long-term. You've got a long, long life. An average person lives 80 years. Commit to yourself. You owe it to yourself to put in the effort for more than just a month. Give yourself at least a year of hard work, and we promise that you're going to see incredible results, and it could completely change your life moving forward. So that's it. Thanks again for tuning in to the Trainer Talk. If you are ready to gain back control of your health and fitness, we would love to sit down and chat with you to see if we can put together a plan for you. All you have to do is head to taylorhutchinsonfitness.net and book a free consult. Again, make sure you like and subscribe if you like the video, and hopefully we'll see you soon.